Being that Dust 514 is a free-to-play game, there is this notion that free-to-play games are games in which if you actually pay money, you're going to do better, and in a way, there's an incentive into making you use money. And in this game, in Dust 514, it does not have that, but it does have the option for beginning players to actually spend a little bit of money to make their beginning journey into Dust 514 a little bit easier. So I'm going to talk about blueprint items in Orem in this game. And Orem is the actual real life currency, the currency that works in this game, comparable to real life money. It's the currency you will be spending if you actually spend real life money towards Dust 514. It's not completely necessary, but it does save you some time into actually getting better at the game and getting better gear a little bit faster. So Orem, the way Orem works is you get about $1 for every $1 that you spend in real life, you get about 2,000 Orem. So there are different packs that you can actually go to the add-on section in the Dust 514 section, the PlayStation Store. You can actually see different classes and different things you can buy. For the first option, we got for $1.99 you get 4,000 Orem. Then we have another option that's for $4.99 you get 10,000 Orem. Then you have another one that for $9.99 you get 20,000. So as you guys can see, it goes like 1 to 2,000, $1 per every 2,000 Orem. So it kind of doubles by the fact of the how much money you're actually using. So for $20 you get 40,000 Orem. And then for $50 you get 100,000 Orem. For $100 you get 200,000 Orem. I will say this right now, you will never need more than 100,000 Orem in this game. This means that the most amount of money you will have to spend ever in this game, at least in my honest opinion, for this game, the most amount of money you will have to spend is $50 if you want to get 100,000 Orem, because I do not believe there is anything you would require that you usually have to purchase through Orem that will exceed anything over 100,000. There's also 3 other DLC packs, and they're called the Mercenary Pack, the Elite Pack, and the Veteran Packs. And these packs come with the Orem plus other goodies. So for example, the Mercenary Pack already comes with 40,000 Orem, but it does come with extra gear like an extra Exile submachine gun that is a blueprint, which I will actually go into that in a minute. So pretty much in here you get the 40,000 plus extra things. So it's always better if you're going to buy Orem. So instead of buying just the Orem by itself, you go ahead and decide to buy one of these packs. So we got the Mercenary Pack, which gives you 40,000 Orem plus some other goodies. We have the Elite Pack, which gives you 200,000 Orem plus some other goodies. And we have the Veteran Packs, which gives you 100,000 Orem plus other goodies. This is essentially the one you want to buy, the only one you should ever buy. So comparably, if you are a new player and you think you might want to spend some time in this game, and you think this is a game you could enjoy because it's an MMO, and you like what you've seen so far, but you do not want to spend too much money, but you want to make your journey a little bit easier into the game, this is the one you should buy, the Veteran Pack. It gives you, I believe it gives you an actual vehicle, it gives you some guns that you actually has unlimited use, and it gives you 100,000 Orem, which is essentially all you will ever need in this game. Now that we have the Orem, now we have the up to 100,000 Orem, which is what I would gladly recommend if you actually get into this game. Now we can actually go into what blueprint gear is. And what blueprint gear is gear that is unlimited. And I will actually go into the details on what unlimited gear you should get and how that unlimited gear is useful for beginner players and even for veteran or older players. So let's go into militia gear, which actually tells us, it actually takes us to the place where we can actually find a blueprint, and let's go to drop suit. Anything that you see with this blue highlight over the area that shows the picture or what you're buying, as you guys can see, the top 4 have a blue highlight on it. These are blueprints, and as you guys can see, blueprints are things that are unlimited, and they usually cost Orem. So as you guys can see, this one costs 6,400, this one costs 12,800, 12,800, 12,800. Whenever you buy each one of these, they automatically become unlimited. You buy them and they're unlimited. You never run out. The moment you equip them, you never run out. If you look at my previous video, which is my tip number 3 about managing your money, your ISK, that video actually goes into detail on how much money you gotta spend every time you die in battle, because you gotta resupply and restock up on your weapons and on your drop suit. But if you have something that is a blueprint like this that is unlimited, you can die as many times as you want in battle, but you never have to re-equip it. You never have to spend extra money. So you spend the Orem one time, and that's it. That's the only one time you gotta spend to actually use that gear. So we can go to equipment. We can actually see other equipment gear that is also blueprint. We can see the Militia drop uplink, the Militia nanite injector, Militia nano hive blueprint. They're all blueprints. The Militia repair tool, and all these things are blueprints. There's ones for modules, one for turrets, ones for vehicles. There are vehicle blueprints, I believe, as well. Or maybe not. The vehicle blueprints are the ones you actually get from the Mercenary Pack and the Veteran Pack. Those are the ones that give you the blueprint gear for the vehicles. We also have for the weapons, we got militia assault rifle, militia locust grenade, and you get some other weapons that are also blueprints from the mercenary pack or from the veteran pack or from the elite pack. So what specific militia blueprint gear do you want to get? Which is the one that you should get? The first things I should say is that you should never get anything for the drop suit. You should never get any drop suit blueprint gear. I believe this is kind of useless because a lot of them are really low level and they will not let you equip a lot of things because their overall PG and CPU is kind of low. Like you guys can see, it's 125 or 70. This one's 150 it's 150 by 26, and then we have 25 by 160. As you guys can see, it's very low. Anything under like 200 is very low. Anything that's not even near 200 is very low. So I'd recommend never buying any blueprint gear for these ones. But I do recommend buying equipment blueprint gear. You should get the militia drop-out link, the nanite injector, the nano hive blueprint, and the repair tool. All four of those you should get if you actually decide to spend some Orem on blueprint gear, because these are essentials to your team. These things help you work as a teammate, help you support your team, heal people up, revive your teammates, resupply on ammo, and put drop-off links in the battlefield so people can spawn closer to where you're at instead of actually having to spawn all the way where the game tells them to, So for modules, it's almost identical. We got armor plates. This increases your armor. This increases the repair rate of your armor. This increases the overall CPU that you can actually have, increasing how much you can equip on your drop suit. This makes you run faster. These things are for making you run faster. This one increases your hacking speed of facilities, and this one's for weapon damage. So we have for weapons, of course. For the weapons, it's the other thing I would not recommend. I would not recommend using militia gear for militia blueprint gear for weapons. So never spend money on weapon blueprints and never spend money on drop suits blueprints. Always spend money. The Orem you're going to spend it on the blueprint gear for the equipment and the blueprint gear for the modules. Everything else is irrelevant. Now let's go ahead and check out my fitting, and let's go ahead and create a fitting real quick. Let's go ahead and go into create a new, and let's go ahead and make one with a class that I already have uses for, the Dragonfly Scout. This is one of the ones I got, I believe, from the mercenary pack, and as you guys can see, it is a blueprint drop suit, and it's unlimited, so I can click on it. As you guys will see, it lets me put some things on it, and this one is like a low level. It only has 125 CPU and 30 PG. So let's go ahead and equip some blueprint militia gear that I have here. I have the militia armor plates and the militia armor repair. So let's put one of these. Let's put one of these for the repair blueprint, and I believe we also have one for the nano hive blueprint and one for the repair tool. This specific drop suit only lets us equip one here. We also can equip a exiled assault rifle. Let's put it here, and let's also equip a militia light damage modifier. So as you guys can see, everything that I have equipped right now is a blueprint, and then we can also equip the sidearm over here, which is a toxin submachine gun, which I believe you also get from the mercenary $20 pack, $19.99. So as you guys can see, everything that I have on here is a blueprint gear. So everything, when I go into battle and you actually go to pick this specific class, you guys can see that actually has like an unlimited infinity number right there. That means I can use a specific drop suit as many times as I like, and I will never have to use any money to actually resupply because everything on it is unlimited. Now let's go over here and let's go ahead and delete this one because I do not want to keep it. Delete the fitting, and let's go ahead and make another Minmatar medium frame, and let's pick it over here. Now when we actually go to it, you can actually see that this one, because it's a higher level, it actually lets us use more slots. But of course, anything that is higher level is usually not blueprint, so these things do right now. I only got 26 copies of this. Like I said, if you want to know more about this, you can always check my previous 2 videos about the drop suit tip and the tip for actually managing your money. So over here, let's go ahead and put the light damage modifier, and let's put this one over here. Let's put the exiled assault rifle. Let's put the armor plates, blueprint, and this goes into what my previous video said about managing your money, the previous tip video about managing your money in your ISK. Previously, whenever you actually equip more copies of the one same thing, you would be wasting twice as many copies of that. But for example, if we have a militia blueprint gear, that you can actually equip as many copies of that as you want, and they do stack up over time. So we can equip more copies of this, and let's go ahead and equip this over here with the tool repair. And as you guys can see, I can equip 3 copies of this, and what this thing does is increases my light damage weapon, which is a submachine gun, an assault rifle is a light damage weapon. So this thing increases my light damage weapon by 3%. As you guys can see, that will be a stack up to 9%. So whenever we go over here and we look on the side, you guys will see that my light damage multiplier, you guys scroll down all the way down to like maybe half about the screen, it says light weapon damage modifier. It says 1.09%. That means 1.09. So that means the weapon damage went up by 9%. So these things are unlimited. So I suppose, as for example, if I decided to use a complex light damage modifier, and I put one here, and I put another one here, and I will put another one here, that would mean I would be using 3 of those every single battle. And of course, those ones cost more because they're not blueprints. So I will be using 3 of those per battle, and the cost for these things are 5,595. So I will be spending around 16,000 ISK per every time I died for using this specific drop suit. But of course, Militia Blueprint gear is of course not something that doesn't have any limit, so you can use it a limited amount of times. You can equip as many copies of it as you want, stacking them on top of each other. So for beginner players, this is the best thing you can do. And of course, you know, the most important thing, like I said, is make sure you have the modules, make sure you have the blueprint modules, and make sure you have the blueprint equipment. So you have blueprint modules for here, with the infantry low power modules, high power module, and the equipments, because the equipments are the things you're going to use to help out your teammates. The equipments don't necessarily need to be a high level, because essentially they're used for support of your teammates. You don't essentially need to upgrade them. But for these over here, you usually want to have extra slots, and usually the Militia Blueprint gear usually is less expensive. If we compare this, for example, if we compare the CPU cost of this complex light damage modifier, is 68 CPU cost with 9 PG. If we compare it, for example, to the blueprint, Militia Light Damage Modifier blueprint, we can see that this one only cost 30 by 5, as opposed to this one that costs 68 by 9. And of course, the good thing is that it's unlimited. So, I don't know. I really do not know. The higher your level goes, the more of higher level equipment and items you will want to use specifically for your drop suit and for your weapon. But anything that has to do with your modules or your equipment, you can very well just keep using Militia Blueprint gear, because those ones will never run out and they can stack on top of each other. And the higher the level of your drop suit, of course, the higher the level of your drop suit, the more you will be able to equip on it. So, for example, this is something I keep showing, but it's something that actually does make a lot of sense for a lot of people out there if you're planning on getting into this and you plan on playing Dust 514 for a very long time. If we scroll down to like a very high level Minotaur drop suit, which is this one over here, we can actually see that this one lets us equip 4 slots of everything. 4 high power modules, 4 low power modules, and 4 infantry equipments. You can equip each one of those 4 slots for every single one of those areas with Militia Blueprint gear, and it'll work just as well as something that was high level and actually costs you money. So that's essentially the main focus of Militia Blueprint gear, for support and being able to stack it on top of each other while still being unlimited and not spending any of your money. And anything for grenades or for actual weapon damage or for the actual drop suit, that's where you actually want to spend real actual ISK money. And those, you never want to spend the blueprint money on it. Now the thing about Orem, as you guys can see over here, we got the Neo Logistics MK0. This also is essentially identical to what this is, but it costs less. You can always spend a little bit of Orem to actually get a higher level equipment by actually making sure that your level, the Minotaur medium drop suit level, is actually a little bit lower. For example, this one over here will cost you the Minotaur Logistics drop suit level 5, but over here it just costs you the Minotaur Logistics drop suit level 3. So the requirement for using these two, even though they're identical, is different. It's a little bit lower for the one that uses Orem, as opposed to a little bit higher for the one that uses the ISK. So if you want to save time and money, or if you want to save in-game currency versus your time, then you will want to spend real-life money to actually do so. So hopefully that kind of explains how Orem and Militia Blueprint gear works in conjunction with each other, it's actually really tricky to explain because it certainly does come down to what the person wants to use it for, and whether you actually want to spend your time and money trying to upgrade each one of your classes and skills to actually use regular gear instead of blueprint gear. The blueprint gear is always weaker, but they do stack on top of each other over time, and they are unlimited, so you're going to spend less money over time, and you're going to have to spend less time overall because you don't have to upgrade them. You can use them right off the bat. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Hopefully this was kind of helpful in giving you a hint of how Orem works as opposed to militia gear and blueprint, and how higher level things cost more, and how it saves you money and time to use militia blueprint gear, and how they stack over time. So like I said, hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully I did not ramble on a lot. Man, Dust 514 is one of the hardest games to explain because there's just so many details that go into it, and it really just comes down to preference. But I guess I'll just catch you guys later.